Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today let's read a poem. The name of the poem is Keeping Quiet, written by Pablo Neruda. Here, poet tells us about the introspection. The meaning of introspection is to think or reflect about oneself. We must stop all our activities and introspect ourselves, whether whatever activities that we are doing are right or wrong. Let's read the poem and try to understand what exactly the poet wants to tell us. Let's see the first stanza. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. Here poet tells us through these lines that he is going to count till 12. What does he mean by counting till 12? Actually, he may be telling us that he will count the hours of the day, the 12 hours a day, or he'll count 12 months of the year, okay, or he will count 12 seconds, whatever may be. Or you can see keeping quiet. The word consists of 12 letters. Okay, maybe, it may be, we do not know. But he is going to count till 12 and we all must keep quiet. We must be silent. And we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, at least for once we have to stop everything and be still. Okay? Let's not speak in any language. He's telling us not to speak in any language. What does he mean by this line? He tells us that when we are speaking in our languages, the different countries have different languages, different regions have different regional languages, different states have different languages. The moment we speak in our languages, we create division. We are divided. So he doesn't want us to be divided. He wants us to be united. That is why he tells us not to speak in any language. That means come together and be united. Let's stop for a second. He is just telling us to stop at least for a second and not move our arms so much. And the moment we move our arms in activities, okay, we do so many things. We harm the others, we hurt others. All these things are being done. All these wrong things being committed by us. That is why he's telling us not to move our arms so much. Okay. So did you understand? So let's see the literary devices. Alliteration is used here. We will. W sound is repeated here. Enjambment without any punctuation. First sentence is continued in the second line. That is enjambment. This line is continued in the second line. That is enjambment. Okay. Another one, antithesis. Two opposite words are used together. You can see count and still. How can one count at the same time he remains still? It cannot be. A person, if he is counting, then he cannot remain still. Anaphora. When two consecutive lines are starting with the same words, then that is called anaphora. You can see, let's not speak, let's stop. That two lines starting with the let's. So that is called anaphora. Clear? Let's see the next stanza. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. So here through this lines, poet tells us that if we all keep still, at least for a second, it would be a strange moment. It would be a beautiful moment. Okay, there will not be any rush. There will not be any engines moving. What does he mean by rushing to our workplaces? So the moment we rush to our workplaces, we forget to look or care ourselves. Even we are unable to give time to our near and dear ones. Okay, and we remain so busy that we even cannot take care of ourselves. Okay, then what is the meaning of working so much without engines? The moment we what is called, Engine. The meaning of engine means vehicles moving. The moment vehicles move, what happens? There are accidents, different types of accidents, okay, different kinds of man-made calamities are being or disasters are being made by these engines. Okay, we must stop all these things and give time to our near and dear ones. Okay, and it would be strange, it would be together in a sudden strangeness, all will come in a sudden strangeness. Okay, it will be a beautiful moment. Okay, so this is clear. Poetic device, repetition, without engine, without rush, there will not be any rush. That means everybody will be silent, everybody will be still, everybody will come together, everybody can give time to his or her near and dear ones, his relatives. Okay, without engines, when there is no engines moving, then there is no calamities or no disaster happening. Okay, so this is what is repetition. Alliteration, we would, w sound, sudden strangeness, s sound is repeated here. So this is clear. Let's see the next stanza. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would not look at his hurt hands. Okay, so when the person is busy, he just goes on, fisherman goes on killing the fishes, the innocent animals in the water, in the sea. And the moment he remains still, at least these innocent animals can be saved. And another thing is that the man who is busy gathering salt, he just goes on all throughout his life, he goes on collecting the gathering the salt. By doing this activity, he just damages his own hand. He doesn't get enough time to take care of his own hands. That's why he has to stop all his activities and take care of his hands at least. That is what a poet tells us, that at least be still at least for a second, be quiet at least for a second, so that you can look after yourselves. The fisherman can look after himself. He can at least this innocent animals can be saved, and this salt gatherer can at least look take care of his own damaged hands or injured and hurt hands. Okay, so he has to, we all have to keep still at least for some seconds, so that we can take care of ourselves. So we should introspect all these things, what we are doing, whether the activities that we are doing, that is right or wrong. Okay, or is it harming others, is it hurting others? Okay, so this is clear for you. Any doubt, anything you have, you can write in the comment box. Poetic device, let us say. Alliteration is used here. His heart hands. H sound is repeated here. His heart hands. H sound is repeated here. Let's see the next stanza. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes. So here, through this line, poet tells us that the people are there who prepare green wars. That means they destroy the forest. They cut down all the trees and build their own industries, the factories. By doing all these things, the depletion of ozone layer is being done. Okay, and the oxygen, the gas that we need, we require for breathing, that is slowly it is decreasing. Okay, and in time we don't get the proper rain, we don't get. Wars with gas, another thing, wars with gas means it is pollution. We are busy creating different types of pollution. Air pollution, we just emit gas into the environment. Okay, from the factories, from the household, from from all kinds of places, we just emit the carbon dioxide gas or the smoke to the everything to the environment. By that, the air is polluted. By doing all these things, are we doing right things? We are just causing harm to ourselves. Ame nijaku amo nijaku hi khyati pahunchauchu. This is we may mean that we are developing, but in the name of development, we are destroying ourselves. Okay, another thing is that wars with fire. We are busy fighting with each other, bombing, the blasting, all this, killing each others. Okay, countries are busy fighting with each other. You can see Ukraine and Russia, India and Pakistan, China, and Hamas and Israel. All these people are fighting with each other in the name of religion, in the name of land, territories. They fight. What is the use of winning all these wars and all if there is no one left to celebrate the victories? So that is what is written, victories with no survivors. What is the use of this kind of victories when there is no survivors left to celebrate all these victories? That is why poet tells us to what is called uh, keeping quiet. We must keep quiet all. Would put on clean clothes. We all must stop all this kind of wars, green wars, wars with gas, and wars with fire. We must all stop all this kind of wars and put on clean clothes. That means he wants to tell us that we must change ourselves, our way of thinking, our perspectives, everything we must change. We must have new thoughts, positive thoughts towards our brothers. Okay, so this is what poets tell us. By the for the name of development, we just destroy ourselves. It is not developing, rather we destroy ourselves. Okay, so let's see the what is called poetic devices. Repetition is used here. War. He gives emphasis on the war because we all are busy in doing so many types of wars. Green wars, wars with gas, and wars with fire. You might be understanding the meaning I have written. Wars means deforestation, wars with gas means pollution, wars with fire. We all are busy on all these kind of wars. Okay, these are symbolism. Green wars means deforestation, gas means pollution, and fire means a bomb blast and all this kind of things. And clean clothes. Clean clothes means we must change our mind, way of thinking, our perspectives. Shared means protection. We must work in the protection of our brothers. We must protect each other. Okay, alliteration. Clean clothes. C sound is repeated here. Metaphor. Shared is compared with the protection. Okay, so this is clear. Let's see the next stanza. And walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no track with death. So here poet tells us through this line is that we must put on new clothes. We should have uh, positive thoughts and new perspective, new way of thinking. Not in killing each other, we don't gain anything. Okay, that is why he tells us that we must put on new clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shed, in the protection. We should protect each other. Okay, doing nothing. We should not do anything. We should not harm each other. We should not hurt each other. We should not kill each other. We must protect each other. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Here, poet tells us that he tells us keeping quiet. Keeping quiet doesn't mean that total inactivity. He tells us that he doesn't tells us that complete inactivity. You do nothing completely. Doing nothing means you are dead. Okay, it doesn't want us to die. Inactivity means it doesn't want to be dead. Okay, life is what it is about. Life, if there is life, there is death. That is what is life about. If we are born, we are to die. That is what is life. I want. That doesn't mean that you have to kill each other and dead bodies be loaded in the trucks and taken. He doesn't want all these things. He doesn't want all these causalities. Okay, all this killing each other and so many causalities. He doesn't want all these things. Okay, so in the wars and all, you can see that thousand and thousand people are dying and they are being loaded in the trucks and are taken and they are just buried or burnt somewhere. So he doesn't want all these things. So you should not be confused. Total inactivity doesn't mean that keeping quiet doesn't mean that total inactivity. That means dying completely and dead. He doesn't want all these things. Life is what it is about. Life means if we are born, we are to die. Okay, let's see the next stanza. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once would do nothing. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. So here poet tells us that we are single-minded. Okay, we are single-minded. What does he mean by single-minded? Single-minded means we are thinking that we have to do something to survive. We have to kill someone to survive. We have to keep ourselves moving. Okay, he doesn't. This is what is the motive of the people. They want to move. Okay, so if we are remaining silent for some time, okay, once and do nothing, perhaps this huge silence can interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. This huge silence can interrupt the sadness. What is the sadness? The sadness created or caused by the wars or different wars, green wars, wars with fire, wars with gas. These different types of wars cause the sadness. Okay, that can be interrupted. This sadness can be interrupted. Okay, we are unable to understand that we just threaten ourselves with death. Okay, because of this our movement. We think that only when we move, only when we keep ourselves moving in the movement, we can survive. It is not the right thing. It is not the truth. So we must forget to be single-minded. We must stop to be single-minded, and at least for a second, we must remain silent. At least for a second, we have to be quiet. So he wants us to introspect all these things, what we are doing, whether that is right or wrong. Okay, so this huge silence can interrupt the sadness that is created by the words. Okay, so we never understand that, but that can be interrupted, that can be stopped. Let's see the next stanza. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So here through these lines, poet tells us that we have to learn from the earth. When the natural calamities happens, if there is a what is called flood or anything like that, we may think that everything is destroyed because the whole earth is submerged with the water, and we may think that this is the end of the life. But perhaps, and later proves to be alive, perhaps there is a life emerging with new what is called new leaves within. You can see here. You can see here this one, a new life with a green, with a new perspective, with a new hope. It is emerging. Exactly same thing. So we have to learn from the earth that because of silence, it is not the end of the earth. It is not the end of the life. There is a new thought. There is a new perspective. There is a new life. We have to learn that. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So again, poet tries to conclude the poem with the same line that he had written in the first stanza. I will count up to 12 and everybody has to be still. So exactly same, I will count up to 12. He's telling that again he is going to count 1, 2, 3, 12. At least for 12 minutes or 12 seconds, we have to keep quiet and he will go. So what does poet wants to tell us through these lines and all? He wants us to introspect what we are doing, whether the things that we are doing, the activities that we are doing, that are right or wrong. The wars that we are engaged in, green wars, wars with fire, wars with gas, are those things right? The engines that move, the workplaces that we are moving to, are those rights? We are unable to give time to our near and dear ones, and when the engine starts, there is a man-made calamities, okay, disaster happening. So we must stop all these things, at least on the face of the earth. We must keep quiet for few seconds, so that this huge silence can interrupt the sadness that is being created by our activities, that is being created by the what is called wars, different types of wars. So I think the poem is clear.